10 Unspoken Rules of a Dysfunctional Family. Welcome, seekers of understanding, to the labyrinth of familial dynamics. Within the intricate web of relationships, there exist unspoken rules that govern the interactions, shaping the very essence of family life. Yet, in dysfunctional families, these rules take on a different hue, casting shadows upon the bonds meant to nurture and support. Today, we embark on a journey to uncover the clandestine guidelines that dictate the behaviors and expectations within dysfunctional family units. Silence is golden, but secrets are sacred. In dysfunctional families, silence reigns supreme. The unspoken mandate dictates that certain topics are off-limits, cloaked in secrecy to preserve the facade of normalcy. Behind closed doors, truths are buried beneath layers of denial, shame, and fear. Here, the silence becomes a breeding ground for toxicity, fostering an environment where honesty is sacrificed at the altar of conformity. The unspoken rule of silence not only perpetuates dysfunction, but also stifles individual expression and growth. Within this realm of silence, secrets become currency, traded in whispered confessions and knowing glances. Emotions are for the weak. In dysfunctional families, emotions are viewed as a liability, a sign of weakness to be suppressed at all costs. The unspoken rule dictates that vulnerability is akin to surrender, and displays of emotion are met with disdain or ridicule. Children learn early on to bury their feelings beneath a facade of stoicism, masking their pain with forced smiles and hollow laughter. Within this emotional void, relationships wither, starved of the nourishment that comes from authentic connection. Behind the facade of emotional detachment lies a tangled web of unmet needs and unresolved traumas. Parents who are unable or unwilling to express love and affection leave their children longing for validation and acceptance. Denial is the river Styx. In dysfunctional families, denial is more than just a coping mechanism, it's a way of life. The unspoken rule dictates that acknowledging problems is tantamount to admitting defeat, and so inconvenient truths are swept under the rug in favor of maintaining the illusion of harmony. Whether it's a parent's addiction, a sibling's mental illness, or the elephant in the room that no one dares to acknowledge, denial becomes the default mode of operation. Behind the facade of denial lies a profound sense of disconnection, as family members tiptoe around the unspoken truths that lurk beneath the surface. By refusing to confront reality, individuals consign themselves to a perpetual state of limbo, trapped between the desire for change and the fear of upheaval. Control is king. In dysfunctional families, control is wielded like a weapon, used to maintain power and dominance over others. The unspoken rule dictates that obedience is paramount and dissent will not be tolerated. Whether it's a parent exerting control over their children through manipulation and intimidation, or siblings vying for control over each other through competition and sabotage, the underlying dynamic is one of dominance and submission. Behind the facade of control lies a profound sense of insecurity, as individuals seek to assert their dominance in a bid to mask their own vulnerabilities. Parents who exert control over their children often do so out of a fear of losing their grip on the family unit, while siblings who vie for control over each other are driven by a deep-seated sense of inadequacy and rivalry. The golden child and the scapegoat. In dysfunctional families, roles are assigned with military precision, each member tasked with playing their part in maintaining the fragile equilibrium of dysfunction. The unspoken rule dictates that certain individuals are elevated above others, their virtues magnified while their flaws are overlooked or excused. Meanwhile, others are relegated to the role of scapegoat, bearing the brunt of blame and criticism for the family's problems. Behind the facade of these roles lies a profound sense of injustice, as individuals struggle to break free from the constraints imposed upon them by their assigned roles. The golden child may chafe under the weight of expectations, longing for the freedom to be themselves without the burden of perfection. Boundaries. What boundaries? In dysfunctional families, boundaries are as elusive as the Holy Grail, trampled beneath the weight of codependency and enmeshment. The unspoken rule dictates that individual autonomy is secondary to the needs of the collective, and personal boundaries are seen as barriers to intimacy, rather than essential safeguards of self-respect and dignity. Behind the facade of boundarylessness lies a tangled web of dysfunction, as individuals struggle to assert their autonomy in the face of relentless intrusion and manipulation. Parents may view their children as extensions of themselves, failing to recognize their right to privacy and self-determination. Gaslighting, the art of distortion. In dysfunctional families, gaslighting is more than just a psychological tactic. It's a means of maintaining control and power over others. The unspoken rule dictates that reality is subjective, and truth is a malleable commodity to be shaped and manipulated to suit one's needs. Behind the facade of gaslighting lies a profound sense of disorientation, as individuals struggle to discern fact from fiction in a world where the ground is constantly shifting beneath their feet. Gaslighters may use a variety of tactics to undermine their victims' sense of reality, from outright denial and distortion of events to subtle manipulation and mind games. Breaking free from this cycle requires a willingness to trust one's own perceptions and instincts, to reject the gaslighter's narrative and reclaim one's sense of self. Love with conditions. In dysfunctional families, love comes with strings attached, a transactional commodity to be earned through compliance and conformity. The unspoken rule dictates that affection is contingent upon meeting the expectations and demands of others, and failure to do so results in withdrawal of love and affection. Within this framework, love becomes a weapon wielded to manipulate and control, rather than a source of nurturing and support. Behind the facade of conditional love lies a profound sense of insecurity, as individuals struggle to earn the approval and validation they crave. Children may grow up believing that their worth is tied to their ability to meet their parents' unrealistic expectations, while siblings may compete for the limited supply of affection and attention. The cult of perfection. In dysfunctional families, perfection is not just a goal, it's an obsession, a relentless pursuit of an unattainable ideal. The unspoken rule dictates that anything less than perfection is failure, and mistakes are met with harsh criticism and punishment. Behind the facade of perfectionism lies a profound sense of inadequacy, as individuals strive to meet impossible standards in a bid to win approval and validation. Parents may project their own insecurities onto their children, demanding excellence in every aspect of their lives in a misguided attempt to shield them from disappointment and failure. Siblings may internalize the pressure to excel, fearing that anything less than perfection will result in rejection and abandonment. Breaking free from this cycle requires a willingness to embrace imperfection, to recognize that true growth and learning come not from success, but from failure and resilience. The code of silence. In dysfunctional families, loyalty is prized above all else, even at the expense of truth and justice. The unspoken rule dictates that family members must protect each other's secrets and uphold the facade of unity, no matter the cost. Behind the facade of silence lies a profound sense of betrayal, as individuals struggle to reconcile their loyalty to their family with their own sense of morality and integrity. Children may be forced to keep silent about abuse or neglect, fearing the consequences of speaking out against their own flesh and blood. Siblings may collude in maintaining the family's secrets, afraid to rock the boat and risk the wrath of their parents or other family members. Breaking free from this cycle requires a willingness to speak truth to power, to confront the lies and injustices that perpetuate dysfunction, and to forge a new path based on honesty, integrity, and compassion. So guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. For more interesting content, give this video a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. For more awesome content, have a nice day, and I will see you in the next video.